Thanks for covering the bill. I went ahead and canceled yours.
Staying in a luxury hotel on my wife's dime? Life doesn't get better than this. Haha.
I hear my mother-in-law and husband chuckling loudly. By all means, have a great time. Their laughter suddenly stops when I say this with a smile.
You're weird. Don't you realize we tricked you? Wouldn't most people be upset?
I haven't been tricked at all. You see, I haven't paid a cent for this trip. My name is Laura, a 32-year-old housewife. I met my husband James through work. He was a client, and we had worked together several times when he invited me to dinner. Since we were the same age, we quickly found common interest and hit it off. We started going out for meals and dates, and before long, we began dating. Fast forward 1 year and we were married. We have now been married for 2 years. But that doesn't mean our married life has been a continuous honeymoon. At first, James was incredibly kind and always treated me with care. So I put a lot of effort into housework to make him happy. James wanted me to be a stay-at-home wife, so I quit my job and fulfilled that role. Every day, I prepared breakfast, made lunch, and cooked elaborate dinners. I also kept the house clean, doing the laundry and all sorts of chores diligently.
Life is so comfortable with you around. You're really helping me out.
James used to say that and appreciate my hard work. I was able to give my all each day because of that. However, as we reached the 2-year mark, the spark we had as newlyweds seemed to fade. Lately, I've noticed James growing more indifferent. No matter what I do for him, he doesn't seem to react anymore. Tonight, I made your favorite fried chicken.
All right.
Was work tough today?
Yeah, I guess so.
I filled a bathtub for you, so feel free to take a bath whenever.
Yeah, whatever.
My husband seemed disheartened whenever I spoke to him, offering nothing more than half-hearted acknowledgments. He used to come home from work on time when we first got married, but he's been coming home later and later. He also started going out for drinks without telling me, which often resulted in wasted dinners I had prepared. Is this what they call the 7-year itch? I miss the good old days when we were a loving couple. Was that too much to ask for? But there was another thing bothering me. It was the presence of my mother-in-law, Rose. Ever since we got married, she has never been fond of me, always finding a reason to complain.
You are so plain. Can't you wear something more colorful? You probably can because your face is plain too. The food you cook is bland and not even tasty, just terrible.
I seriously questioned her character, wondering why she was so mean. Whenever we visited my husband's parents, she would bully me and badmouth me endlessly. After 2 years of marriage, she started bugging us about having a grandchild. How can we start a family under such pressure? Yet, she relentlessly pushed me to have a child. My father-in-law did nothing about his wife's bullying. It's like he found it too troublesome to intervene. My husband also turned a blind eye, offering me no protection. I was devastated. I at least wanted my husband on my side. Feeling utterly lonely, I felt unwell one day and went to the doctor.
You're pregnant.
What? I was shocked, to say the least. I had no idea I was pregnant, but I was thrilled. Having a new family member on the way with my husband filled me with joy and hope for the future. I couldn't wait to share the news with my husband when he got home from work that day.
Really?
Even my usually indifferent husband was wide-eyed. He was overjoyed when I nodded.
Yes, I'm going to be a dad. Thank you, Laura.
Yeah. I was happy that my husband seemed interested in me again after a long time. Both my father-in-law and mother-in-law were also happy about the new grandchild. and they were exceptionally kind to me. Since my family lived far away, my mother-in-law frequently came over to help me during my pregnancy. My husband told me not to overexert myself, and I felt as if the kind husband I knew had returned. However, this happiness was short-lived. The turning point came when I shared the baby's gender. When I told my in-laws that the baby would be a girl, my mother-in-law looked very disappointed.
You can't even give birth to a boy, huh?
With those harsh words, my mother-in-law made her opinion known. For a second, I wasn't quite sure what she had said, but apparently, she's old-fashioned and thinks it's crucial to have a boy. Once she learned the baby was a girl, she stopped all support during my pregnancy. That meant I had to handle everything on my own when I was feeling my worst. As for my husband, he didn't seem to care about the baby's gender, but he started complaining when I got sick and couldn't keep up with the housework.
You didn't make dinner again and you've been lounging on the couch?
I'm sorry. I'm not feeling well.
Don't be such a baby. I have to go to work even when I'm sick. You're a housewife. Housework is your job.
His lack of consideration for my condition hurt me deeply. The only hope I had was the baby inside me and the thought that we would meet soon. And then I safely gave birth to our daughter. Seeing her for the first time filled me with joy. My husband was also thrilled and emotional when he saw his newborn daughter.
She is as cute as an angel.
I thought the three of us could finally be a happy family. But when we got home from the hospital, he reverted to his cold, distant self. While I do love my daughter, my husband would always leave her to me when she cried. He never bothered with things like changing diapers or giving her a bath. Even when the already busy task of parenting, he didn't consider that and would selfishly ask,
"What about dinner?" or "Is the bath ready?"
Little by little, I started to lose trust in him. The thought of divorce crossed my mind, but our daughter had just been born and I couldn't go to work. So all I could do was wait until she grew up. The only silver lining was that I didn't have to visit my husband's parents because of the childcare. My mother-in-law wasn't interested in my daughter, so my husband didn't complain when I said I didn't want to go. Time flew by while I was focused on raising my daughter, and before I knew it, she turned 3. As she started talking, my husband became more interested in her. Though our relationship had cooled, I appreciated his effort as a father. But something started to bother me. Over the past year, he had been acting strangely. He started caring more about his appearance. He used to just let his hair grow out until I told him to get a haircut. Lately, though, he's been going to the salon himself and getting stylish haircuts. He's also started wearing cologne and has been shopping for clothes like crazy. I wouldn't mind if he just took an interest in fashion, but he's always so restless. And he's been spending more time on his phone lately. Is he cheating on me? So I started watching him more closely. One day, while he was in the bathroom, his phone was left on the table and it dinged with a new message. I was shocked when I saw the message on the screen. It was from a woman named Jennifer saying, "Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night," accompanied by a lot of heart emojis. I thought he was supposed to be going out for drinks with his co-workers tomorrow. Was he lying and actually meeting up with this woman? Once you start suspecting, everything seems suspicious. I couldn't shake my unease, so I decided to hire a private investigator. Weeks later, the results confirmed my worst fears. He was indeed cheating. Apparently, it's a female colleague from work. No matter how strained our marriage has been, crossing that line is unforgivable. I started preparations for a divorce. I hired a lawyer and even began searching for a job to support my daughter after the divorce. Out of the blue, he proposed a family vacation.
How about we take a trip for Dad's 60th birthday?
Sure, have a great time.
Don't be cold, you're coming too, right?
What? I was shocked. I never expected him to say something like that. What's the deal? You've acted like you're not interested in me.
Likewise, you didn't seem interested in me either. Dad's turning 60. We should all celebrate together, so help me out here.
I didn't really want to go, but when he mentioned the dates, I came up with a plan. Fine, we will leave our daughter with my sister.
Thanks. Also, you can handle the hotel and flight bookings?
What?
I'm busy on weekdays, so I would like you to take care of it.
All right.
Really appreciate it. Just put it on the credit card. I'll pay you back later.
What?
Apparently, there are benefits if we pay by credit card.
Well, all right. I was hesitant but came up with a plan for that too. He was delighted that I agreed to handle everything. But I was delighted for a different reason. It's time for revenge for betraying me. About a month later, the day for father-in-law's 60th birthday trip arrived. I drove to the airport with my husband. There, we finally reunited with his dad and mom after a long time.
A long time no see, Lara.
It's been a while.
You haven't changed a bit, still looking plain as ever.
And Rose, you're still carrying extra weight. As I say that, the expression in my husband's family goes stiff.
What the heck? You can't just say that, how rude.
You need to apologize to Mom.
Will Rose apologize to me for calling me plain?
Why would I apologize? I just stated the facts.
So did I.
Hey, enough. Don't insult Mom.
At this point, I had nothing to lose, so I wasn't hesitant to pick a fight with my mother-in-law. Oh, could it be that you're not overweight but actually pregnant? You look about the same size as when I was pregnant. My apologies for the mistake.
What's wrong with you? We haven't seen each other in ages and this is how you talk to me? And you can't even have a son?
I really could care less if you call me useless, but for the record, I'm not showing like you are, Rose. I keep provoking her and my mother-in-law storms off saying,
I can't stand to look at your face anymore.
My husband says,
Cool it. Take some time to clear your head.
And walks away with his parents. With a few hours to kill before the flight, they probably went to some cafe. I was relieved to have some time to myself, so I hung out at a coffee shop. Then my husband texts me,
Come to the gate soon.
When I arrive, I see my mother-in-law leaning on my father-in-law. What's going on? I ask my husband.
She got dizzy from being so angry at you.
He says,
Could you get some motion sickness pills? She might get sick on the flight.
Right now? Won't we miss the flight?
We're fine. I'll watch your bags. Go get it.
All right. I step away suspicious. Understanding they were up to something, I moved just out of sight and then went upstairs to observe my husband and his parents from the second floor. Sure enough, my mother-in-law immediately moved away from my father-in-law and was cheerfully chatting and laughing with my husband. Faking it, huh? My husband and his parents then left my bags right there and headed for the gate. I quickly went back to collect my bags. Can't just leave them, they'll get stolen. A few minutes later, my husband called me. I answered the phone while watching them disappear through the gate. Where are you?
We decided to go without you.
What?
It's what you get for disrespecting Mom.
My mother-in-law grabs the phone.
Thanks for the payment. We canceled only your ticket.
Staying in a fancy hotel with your money will be so sweet.
I heard my mother-in-law and husband burst into loud laughter. They probably never intended to bring me along in the first place. Well, I never planned on going either. Enjoy yourselves, all right? When I said that with a smile, their laughter suddenly stopped.
You're strange. Don't you realize we tricked you? Shouldn't you be upset?
No tricks here. I didn't pay a dime for this trip.
What?
I heard my husband's voice, probably because they had the call on speaker.
What's going on?
Explaining would be a hassle. So I'll tell you later. Bye. I said that and hung up the phone. Then I immediately left the airport and hit the road. I headed to the new rental condo I had secured. Boxes were already there and my sister and her husband were waiting for me. While I was at the airport with my in-laws, They had moved all my belongings for me. I was beyond grateful, especially since they also took care of my daughter. Once we started unpacking in the new place, we were done in no time. As a thank you, I took my sister and her husband to a steakhouse and we all enjoyed a nice meal. My husband kept calling, but I ignored it. The next day, he called again around noon, so I finally answered.
Hey, were you lying yesterday? I enjoyed a suit in your place.
Sure, why wouldn't you? It's already paid for.
What? What are you saying?
I changed the account where my credit card payments get drawn from to our joint account. And I moved all the money I put in there to my own account.
So what does that mean?
Basically, the trip was paid for with the money you put in that account.
What? So I paid for it?
Yes, exactly.
You have got to be kidding. How much did it cost?
Plane tickets and all, maybe around $5,000 for 4 adults.
Why 4? Only 3 of us went on the trip.
Last-minute cancellations don't get refunded, you know. My husband was speechless over the phone.
Why would you do this? Do you hate me?
It's not about hate, it's just a little payback for the man who cheated.
What?
I have evidence of your affair, just so you know. He gasped in disbelief. Prepare yourself for a divorce, alimony, and child support.
You can't be serious.
You brought this on yourself. From now on, we'll communicate through lawyers. I said that and hung up on him. After that, I hired a lawyer to handle various procedures. The divorce went through smoothly and I got compensation from my husband and his affair partner. I switched the credit card payment back to my account after the travel expenses were paid. Of course, I'm also demanding child support from my husband. It seems he couldn't cover the payments with his own earnings and savings, so he borrowed money from parents-in-law. Parents-in-law also apparently drained all their savings by covering their son's debt. Now, my husband has moved back in with his parents and they seem to be living a poor life together. Serves them right. I have no intention of letting my daughter meet her ex-father, and I haven't told him where we have moved. Marrying such a terrible man is regrettable, but I'm grateful for the opportunity to have met my daughter. From now on, I plan to live happy days just with my daughter.